The day my stepmother laughed at me, it wasn't loud. That's what made it unforgettable. It happened in the living room of the house my father built with his bare hands, and then quietly handed over to her. The room smelled like lemon polish and entitlement. Family photos lined the walls, but none of them felt like mine anymore.
Hey guys, before we dive into today's family revenge story, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. And I'm curious, where are you watching from right now? Comment your country and current time below. All right, let's begin. This is the story of a family pushed to the edge, and what happened next will shock you.
My name is Ethan. I was 29 then. White, American, raised middle class, taught that respect and patience mattered. I believed that until Marilyn married my father. She didn't scream. She didn't hit. She did something worse. She erased me. After my dad suffered a stroke, Marilyn took control of everything. The house, the finances, the conversations. She spoke about me while I was in the room, as if I were a broken chair no one wanted to throw away yet. Ethan's figuring things out, she told relatives, smiling tightly. Translation, he's a failure. I worked 2 jobs, I paid my own bills, but compared to her polished charity luncheons and fake generosity, I was invisible. The humiliation peaked during a family gathering. Neighbors, cousins, church friends. Marilyn raised her glass and laughed. "You know," she said sweetly, "some people just never grow up. They stay dependent." Her eyes landed on me. The room chuckled. I felt my face burn. My father stared at the floor, silent. He was alive, but he wasn't protecting me anymore. Later that night, Marilyn cornered me in the kitchen. "This house isn't yours," she said calmly, "and neither is your father's money. You're lucky I let you stay." I slept in my childhood bedroom that night, staring at the ceiling, realizing something devastating. I wasn't family. I was a liability, and Marilyn wanted me gone. Not loudly, not legally, slowly, quietly, with humiliation as the weapon. I could have left. I could have fought. Instead, I watched, because humiliation teaches you something valuable, exactly how power works. And Marilyn had no idea she was teaching the wrong person. Marilyn's power wasn't money alone. It was reputation. In our suburban American town, she was untouchable. Church board member, volunteer organizer, widow in waiting who sacrificed everything for a sick husband and an ungrateful stepson. She controlled the narrative. When I applied for better jobs, references mysteriously vanished. When relatives stopped calling, I knew why. Marilyn didn't need to lie, she implied. "Oh, Ethan's sensitive. He's struggling emotionally. He resents his father's happiness." Each sentence painted me unstable. Meanwhile, she tightened her grip on my father's assets, power of attorney, medical decisions, property control. She framed it as responsibility, but it was domination. The humiliation continued privately. She'd correct me in front of guests. She'd remind me I paid rent late even when I hadn't. She'd praise other people's sons loudly, then glance at me. The message was clear. You are small. I am generous for tolerating you. What she didn't know was that I'd stopped reacting. I started documenting everything. Dates, times, statements, financial movements, small inconsistencies. Not because I wanted revenge yet, because I wanted clarity. One night, while helping my father to bed, he whispered, "I'm sorry." That broke something in me. I realized Marilyn's greatest strength, her reputation, was also her weakest point. Everything she owned depended on being seen as righteous. So I began the slowest revenge imaginable. I volunteered with her. Same church, same charity, same community events. I was polite, quiet, reliable. People noticed. "She raised you well," someone told Marilyn once. Her smile froze.
I never contradicted her publicly, never confronted her, never defended myself. I let her talk, because people listen more closely when the victim doesn't beg. Behind the scenes, I consulted a lawyer, not for a fight, but for understanding. I learned about estate laws, elder financial protections, nonprofit transparency. Marilyn thought I was harmless. That was the mistake. Humiliation hardens you, silence sharpens you, and I was becoming very sharp.
Revenge didn't start with confrontation. It started with exposure by inevitability. Marilyn chaired a charity fundraiser every year. Big event, big donors, big praise. I volunteered to handle logistics. She agreed, because control feels safe when you think no one's smarter than you. I noticed patterns. Charity funds routed through temporary holding accounts. Expenses rounded strangely. Vendors who were always the same. Legal? Maybe. Ethical? Not even close. I didn't accuse. I asked questions, quietly, in emails, in meetings, with witnesses. Marilyn grew irritated. "You're overthinking," she snapped once. I smiled, just trying to learn. The turning point came when a donor asked publicly about transparency. Marilyn laughed it off. I didn't. I forwarded documentation to the board, then stepped back. No drama, no speech, just facts. An audit followed. Marilyn's reputation cracked, not shattered yet. At home, she exploded. "You're trying to destroy me," she hissed. I looked at her calmly. I never said anything untrue. That's when she understood. I wasn't attacking her. I was letting her collide with herself. Then came the estate review. The lawyer discovered irregular changes made while my father was medically vulnerable. Not illegal enough for jail, damaging enough for court. Marilyn lost control of the accounts. Community whispers started. The same people who laughed with her now avoided eye contact. I stayed quiet. I helped my father. I showed up. I remained composed. Because the final humiliation wasn't loud. It was watching Marilyn explain herself to no one. The day Marilyn packed her things, she didn't cry. She was too proud. She stood in the doorway, looking smaller than I'd ever seen her. The house was no longer hers, legally or socially. The charity replaced her. The church distanced itself. The neighbors stopped inviting her. Her power, reputation, had collapsed silently. Before leaving, she turned to me. "You planned this," she said. I shook my head. "No," I replied. "You did. I just stopped protecting you from it." She waited for anger. I gave her indifference. That was the humiliation. Not yelling, not revenge fantasies. Just the realization that the man she belittled had outgrown her control entirely. Months later, my father apologized properly, with actions. Trust restored, boundaries set. And me? I moved out, not as a defeated son, but as a man who reclaimed dignity without begging for it. Humiliation taught me patience. Revenge taught me restraint. And Marilyn? She still tells people her version. The problem is, no one listens anymore. Because the most humiliating revenge isn't destruction, it's irrelevance.